To the amusement and amazement and entertainment of all the passers-by, we are live and in living color from Mike's Market in Cookeville, Tennessee, with the Locksmith Show. I believe we have one or two Andrews in the studio. What's going on in there?
How you doing, Charlie?
I'm broke down, apparently, but good news is I've got full coverage in roadside, so we should have somebody coming, hopefully, by the end of the show.
Wow. I'll get you back on the road and get back to Arizona, get out of Tennessee.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I was getting paranoid in Virginia, and I've made it a good distance since then, so it's not horrible. And I think it's just some kind of fuel-related problem, possibly a fuel pump or maybe an injector thing or something. I don't know. But it's not like I got a blown engine, so yay.
Well, get you back on the road. But it's a holiday weekend, so hopefully they don't get you tied up too long.
Well, I'm going to try to get towed down to Nashville and then get a rental car and spend a day or two in Nashville. Probably get back a day or two later than I wanted, but, you know, it's been a wonderful little trip. I stopped by New Jersey and was able to visit the team services people that had me doing a bunch of chase banks. I was able to visit with a guy who decided to barbecue me lunch on his back porch, Tom Lynch. And from there, I went down to New York City and met for the first time a guy I've talked to on the phone for years, Seth Pear of Daniel Pear Inc. And then I went on to have the next day, had lunch with Bobby DeWeese in Baltimore and had a beer after work with Mark Baldino down in Lorton, Virginia. So we've had a fairly extensive trip and a lot of good networking going on.
Sounds like it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And everybody, when they see my vehicle, they're amused and amazed. And I'm not sure I'm going to let out right now just what it is until we actually put a wrap on it and get some good before and after pictures. But it's a magnificent vehicle. All we have to do is get it into tip-top running condition, and then it'll be just dandy. Nice. So what's going on in the Phoenix area? I hear the videos you put up are close to going viral or something. What's going on?
The video has definitely, I believe, surpassed the definition of viral now. I think that's 25,000, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm not too certain, but
what the key term is of viral anymore.
Yeah.
But, in 5 weeks, we're sitting just over 64,000 views, which isn't too bad. Have been reading a lot of fun comments on the thing.
Of fun comments.
Some people like us, some people hate us. So don't know why
I wonder which people it is that hate us.
Well, if there could be some consumers out there, there also could be some unscrupulous gentlemen or ghosts that keep changing their YouTube names to new ones so they can make more comments on it.
What's one more thing to change, right? I mean, name, address, phone number, YouTube handle,
username, Google Plus name.
I don't think they probably have to change anything. They probably just have to decide which one of the 10,000 identities they already have that they're going to use this day.
Yes,
very
true. So, have taken some flack over it. Supposedly, the gentleman who's in the video, I got a phone call from his team of people, supposedly, and asking me to remove his face and his license plate from the video. It's in public domain, so I don't necessarily have to remove his face from the video, according to the laws that I read and my interpretation of them. But against their or with their judgment, I did blur out the license plate of the guy's car. So that has been done. So his license plate is no longer on the video.
Sure, yeah. The privacy concern that we received was rectified, so to speak, to what we believe would be of any concern for any of the parties involved. So
yeah, I'm not looking at having anybody's safety be jeopardized.
I don't think it makes any difference. Well, when you're doing something in public, you have no expectation of privacy. That's been addressed by appellate courts. And, you drive your car anywhere. There's cameras all over the place that are taking all the pictures
Exactly.
and all the video. So it's already in public domain. The fact they put the license plate on their car puts their license plate in public domain. So
Are
I don't
you
know
ready?
what
Are you ready for this one though, Charlie?
Oh, do tell.
On the YouTube privacy policy, it actually goes into it. I'm trying to find the exact line. I don't think I'll be able to find it here quick enough. But basically, it goes into saying that no matter what the laws are in physical reality, YouTube has its privacy guidelines, and if a person or party involved in it believes that their privacy is enough to be identifiable, or that they are a wittingly imaged individual, so a known individual in public, that it could be a violation of their privacy.
Wow.
So basically saying that even though it is public domain and even though there is no expectation of privacy, Google has a YouTube privacy guideline that it has to apply to regardless of the local laws. It overrides the law.
Google has a corporate policy of doing whatever the hell they want.
Exactly.
Regardless of what the laws are. So.
Exactly.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of where we were at it. We were talking to the guy and we said, we didn't do anything wrong, so the video's not going to come down. And a few hours later,
if you look at the 3 on Your Side video that I put up that features Ami Hanan from 24/7, that video from Channel 3 News clearly identifies his company, and it clearly identifies him. And I think they even put up his corporate information, name, and address on that video. So, I mean,
And ironically enough,
it's
Charlie,
6 one, half a dozen the other. If they take it down, they take it down. If they don't, then let the guy sue.
well, and at the end of the day, Charlie, it's the same company as Amin Hanan's.
Yeah, we know that.
So, yeah. And not trying to hurt anybody. Not at all. Not my intention. My intention is to make sure that the consumer...
Protect consumers.
Exactly. The consumer's not getting ripped off for a job that any legitimate locksmith will tell you it will not cost $287, I think was the grand total. 43 plus 149. My math is way wrong.
249, yeah.
249. I don't have the invoice in front of me, but it's absolutely ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, 292 on that.
So
yeah, they tried to charge Sky Johnson $286 or $289 or whatever for her lockout in 2015.
Right.
yeah,
So-
and it's the same exact thing. So same
I don't
exact.
know why we can't get Ami Hanan indicted. Come on, Attorney General, where are you? Could you do something, please?
Well, on that note, I actually think a big problem with it, Charlie, is something that we've discussed several times, and I think that the consumers aren't going down the proper path in this sense, too, where either they're not aware, again, that they're being scammed and taken fraudulently, or they're not filing the complaint with the Attorney General's office, I don't think that there's enough back record of it.
Well, I think a lot of people go file complaints on Google,
Yeah.
Yelp, and other places, which it goes to hurt people's ranking or other things, and average consumers that read comments can go read them, but it's not going to get you sued. It's not going to get you your money back. It's not going to do anything other than your name plastered on the top of their business saying, you screwed me out of X amount of dollars, blah, 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 blah.
Right, and creating just another hassle to the...
Exactly.
In June of 2015, when Sky Johnson called her mom and says, what am I supposed to do here? And her mom called the bank. Her mom was going to make a police report. And the bank says, no, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it for you. And then the bank decided, well, I guess, no, we're not going to take care of you because they've got a signed receipt. Well, once Channel 3 got involved, of course, then they credited back everything but the $55 she signed for. But, when the bank is telling somebody, don't worry about it, we're going to take care of it, you don't have to make a police report, that's just pure and utter bull crap. People need to call the police and place reports at the time these things occur.
Well, Charlie, but we know in the state of Arizona they don't do anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the police so much as the Attorney General.
You need to start
where this
making
needs to
complaints
be.
because the police reports with those here in Arizona, the ones that I've had involved with, it turns into a civil matter, And so the officers basically tell you to take that company to court. But then the problem that then lies when you're the consumer, taking that company to court means you need to find out which company you're actually taking to court because, in my opinion, it's a pyramid scheme. You have
it's a civil matter.
Exactly. They're a subcontractor of the subcontractor of the subcontractor of the subcontractor.
Of the marketer.
Of the marketer.
All right. Well, we're going to be back in a couple of minutes after these announcements, and we'll be right back. Coming back from Mike's Market in Cookeville, Tennessee. Hey, Randy, from the auto repair, you suppose you could send somebody over here to take a look at my diesel for me? I'm kind of stranded at the moment. Come on.
Well, what are you, 1,500 miles away from here? 2,000 miles?
Well, what difference could that possibly make? Come on.
That might be a really big service charge, Carly.
Yeah, I know. But
you might be able to get the car towed back here for cheaper
what
now.
What can I tell you?
Oh, I know. So back to the videos again here. So
yes, sir.
I just wanted to clarify to everybody. I'll even say it over the radio. I meant to say I would get 1 million views, not 1 million subscribers. I was very heated at the moment when I met the gentleman in the video. Well, we won't. He's a kid, so I will give him credit. He's a young kid.
But he is an adult.
But he is an adult. He's not under the age of 18.
Right.
He is 18.
Right.
So
and he might. And according to our conversation last night, you gave the kid, the adult, 18 years old. You gave him your phone number and says, "Look, man, give me a call." And your intention was to offer him a job to get him away from these criminals.
Absolutely.
Is that what I understood you say?
That was kind of my intent. I wanted to really talk to him. I wasn't going to offer him the job right off the bat, but that was part of my intentions where Andrew himself said, hey, we might be able to help you get out of a bad situation yourself. And he didn't call, whether he was scared to call me or if I intimidated him or in any which manner. That was never my intention. Again, I was very heated at the moment. I probably should have kept my cool a little bit more, and I apologize for that. But for somebody to walk up...
Then we'll tell Flores the next time Andrew gets heated, throw a bucket of water on him, cool him off, and then he can act right.
Exactly. So, but besides the point is, it's not meant to open a car at $43 is still a great deal for a gentleman out there opening the car. And the guy got there in 20 minutes. $43 is cheap for me to come out and do it unless you're sitting in a parking lot across the street from my office or right where I am. But,
right.
That's a great price. Go ahead and do it. But don't come over and charge somebody $249 and put a list of things that are actually just on the car that have no meaning in whatsoever of how you're even opening the vehicle. When we read half of these stories, they have to use an airbag to open the vehicle. I use an airbag. Is it a destructive method of opening? It's not necessarily destructive, but it's not the best way to open the vehicle because you could do something. You could damage the vehicle if you are untrained on how to use that airbag, if you put it in the wrong spot, if you do something else.
But I think what you were leading up to was just because the car has some buttons you can use to lock and unlock the doors, and the car has an automatic transmission and 4 wheels underneath of it, that does not in any way, shape, or form change the difficulty level of opening the car, and therefore it should not in any way, shape, or form influence the price tag.
Exactly. That car hasn't changed since its inception, whenever the Ford Fusion was first built, 2008, 9, let's say, because I think that was a 2010. So I still think you can open it with a Slim Jim. So
how much more do they charge for antenna ornaments?
I don't know. Maybe
You think that's an extra $100 for the
64, 65.
I mean, it's
If
a wobbling.
If it's the Jack in the Box one, you probably get charged 120.
I hear you.
So, but it's ridiculous that they can put that on there and think that it's feasible to charge because there's an airbag in the steering wheel or there's an airbag in the door, which is nowhere near the lock system.
Right.
So.
And you're not even going into the door.
No, you're not. Well, you would go into the door of the Slim Jim if you were opening the car.
But he used the long reach.
But he used the long reach tool with an airbag.
Yeah, it's like saying it's an extra $45 because the customer has a pacemaker.
Exactly.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with opening the vehicle or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
And $292, I think, is what total we came up with, is what it was?
292.
So $292 on a Ford Fusion. I will tell you, I will make that key for that car from scratch when you have no key for under that price.
Well, I'll tell you, I do have a policy, though. If the customer has any screaming babies that are within 50 feet of the car, that's an extra $150.
Hey.
No questions.
I had a screaming baby the other night that he was a foot away from me, and I felt real bad. I think I went over and above what I probably should have done, but there was a gentleman who was locked out of his vehicle, or not locked out of his vehicle, locked out of his trunk. He got a flat tire. They're from Maricopa, Arizona, which is about 30, 40 miles south of Phoenix area. And
that's where Sky Johnson lived.
Oh, that's where he got locked out here in town. Not locked out of his trunk. He had like a old 84 Cutlass and had a flat tire. Didn't have a door key or a trunk key. Only had his ignition key. It was 11:30 at night. I went over there and opened the trunk for him by making a key for it, so he had a key for his car.
Press the glove box. Huh?
Exactly. And at 11 o'clock at night, I think I charged him $135 or so, and it took me 20 minutes to do it. But he didn't have a jack. He didn't have anything to do his car. So we ended up helping him change his tire with a couple of jacks because it was not working with the jack that he borrowed from somebody else, and my jack was too big to fit underneath his car in the beginning until we got it up a little bit. It was kind of a nightmare. Took a lot longer getting the tire off. Then he had a security nut on it that we had nothing to get, so I helped a guy get him back on the road and get him down on his way and make sure that him and his wife and his kid could get home because they were driving to Maricopa and it was pretty late and they had no money to stay anywhere. So
yeah.
Well, I know the feeling, and not to break my arm pounding myself on the back or anything, but I keep an electric impact in my vehicle and a long extension cord and a little hydraulic jack. And when I see people broken down by the side of the road, I'll sometimes stop and help them change tires just because it's the right thing to do. And I don't ask them for anything. If they want to give me a little something, I won't refuse it, but, I'm just there to help people.
Well, and I think in America, everybody needs to really look out for each other. We don't do that as much anymore.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and we should.
We really should. I mean, that's what this country was based upon.
That's what this show is based on.
Yeah, well, that's what I did when I was trying to help the gentleman that everybody thinks looks like 2 Chainz or Snoop Dogg. It's a lot of comments on that in there, but help that gentleman out because I quoted him $65. He told me somebody was coming out for 43. I told him that was an awesome deal. Just be careful. And lo and behold, it was a too good to be true offer and ended up being triple what I would have charged to begin with. And so the guy called back and asked me, was that all? That would be it? Yeah, that was it. $65 and you would have had your car unlocked and you would have been on your road 25 minutes ago. And
yeah, that too good to be true action. In the real world, they call that blue sky. So, watch out for the blue sky, ladies and gentlemen.
Not saying that too good to be true is always wrong. But, sometimes you really got to read between the lines.
That's like I'm here in Cookeville, Tennessee with a broken down E450 van, and the guy's going to roll up with the tow truck saying, you know what? Give me $20 to tow you over to Nashville. That's the too good to be true thing.
That's way too good to be true. That's like that's a godsend.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the 6 angels tow to roll.
Well, and again, consumers, just do your research on us. Whether you use me, you use Charlie, you use Jim at Copper State, you use Todd at Alcatraz, you use Corey Barr at Old Glory Locksmith, or any of the other guys in town that are part of, or any of the other guys that are part of the Arizona Professional Locksmith Association, or even PAL. Just do your research
or
on
any
them.
Aloha members,
Exactly.
or any Sopal members, or
Do your research. Make sure that you shake their hand. Go meet them. I run basically a mobile shop myself. I do have a location, but I'm hardly ever there. But if you call me and you want to meet me over there, we'll make the time to meet you over there. Shake your hand, give you a business card, ask questions. Any of us will. Most locksmiths answer their phone, and if you want to talk to a locksmith, they will talk to you. They will tell you their opinion before they even come out. They're not going to say, "Well, locksmith needs to come there and look at it." I'm going to give you.
And if you want to show up, at the studio at noon, we'll shake your hand and cut you a free key or two.
Exactly. Actually, that's open every Sunday from 11 to noon. We're here. We get out of the studio at noon, and we're more than willing to cut you a free non-transponder key.
3rd Street and Palm Lane, everybody. Come on down and meet the two Andrews. I'll be there next week, and it'll be a fun time for all.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to run out to our second commercial break, and we will be back right after this.
News and weather. And,
bottom of the hour.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Locksmith Show. It used to be that I had all the answers, and now that I'm a little bit older, I don't recall even half the questions. I think Alzheimer's is setting in, but I guess that's what happens when you get a few years in you. So all you young people out there, I'm going to give you some unsolicited advice. It's worth exactly what you're paying for it. Don't ever get old. It really sucks.
But I mean, isn't the art of being able to remember that you're not remembering things is technically remembering, therefore not Alzheimer's?
And if you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice.
Exactly.
There we go. So we got another one out of San Antonio here, Charlie. It was posted on May 20th. It looks like a girl named Crystal locked her keys in her SUV on a Friday night and went to our good pals at Google. And she found it was advertising $10 service to come out, and that's what really got her. But, of course, what do you think when she got out there? What do you think happened, Charlie?
$184.50.
Oh, so close. $149.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what. See, can you get her contact information and email it to me? Because I'm going to be coming through San Antonio on my way back to Phoenix.
Sure. You might have to get in contact with KSAT out there. It was KSAT 12 ABC that did the report.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's Amarillo. Yeah, maybe I'm going through Amarillo. Never mind. I'm stuck on geographic silliness.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, after he quoted the additional 149, he also said that after that, he handed her the bill with another $45 charge. And at the end of the day, the $10 service call came out to a $210 bill.
Why? Why, guys? What? Come on, ghosts. I mean, we start from $10 and we go to
that situation. I think I would have just simply kicked him in the
bleepity bleep bleep bleep.
I don't know. I think you're allowed to say that, but
well, we'll leave it at that.
No, we don't want to put Chet in any trouble. Speaking of which, Chet, make sure those boys have your cell phone number because I really wanted to get a hold of you last weekend.
Well, technical difficulties arise every once in a while, and we move forward from them.
We're back on path.
We're back on path.
I'm not aware of too many things. I know what I know, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I'm glad the laptop's not here today.
I think I would have preferred the laptop on that one.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, Charlie, you were let out a key on that one.
Sorry.
No, I know. That's why you're
I'll
a
try to do
locksmith.
better next time.
Okay, we'll have to go into the studio and we'll auto-tune you singing it next time.
Fix the vibrato, Charlie.
Or we'll
Fix
get
the
you.
vibrato.
I'll get you hooked up with my hitchhiking musicians here.
Yeah, you did do a ride share, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
And they're musicians?
Picked up a couple of folks in Roanoke, intending to take them down to New Orleans, and we're going to detour around New Orleans because of A, the vehicle not running quite right, and B, torrential rains and flooding in the Houston area.
Yeah. Texas is flooding.
Yeah, I think I don't want to go through there today or tomorrow or this week.
Or last week or the week before. There was a lot of rain going on over there and lots of flooding in the last few months, I thought.
I thought he said he wouldn't flood it again.
Yeah.
And then I can avoid all those dust storms that keeps closing I-10 down in southern Arizona.
Yeah, crazy weather going on lately. Hey, I was in Hawaii last week. I miss it. I'm going to make myself live on that island very soon.
And no hurricanes and no
You get a few hurricanes
volcanoes.
out there. Oh, no volcanoes. Nope.
Yeah, that'll be the fun part.
That would be awesome.
Kind of missed out.
Red lava is chasing you towards the water. What shall you do?
Walk really slowly because it doesn't go very fast at all.
Well, no, you grab the red lobster, throw it in a pot, and boil it. I mean, how hard is that one?
Red lava.
Oh, lava. I'm sorry. I thought you said red lobster.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, you could throw the lobster in the pot and throw the pot on top of the lava, but then the pot's gonna melt with the lava.
True.
Yeah, there you go.
And the lobster.
No, I was.
Well, you can only die once. It might as well be in volcanic lava.
I was unaware. I guess I had seen the Kauai and the rooster, and I never put it together until I got to the island. That is one of the only places that I've ever been to, besides a farm, that has thousands of wild roosters that just roam this island. It is the most funniest thing in the world, and they come out of like the woodwork. There'll be one.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh yes, all night, all day, all night, all day, all night. So, and then there's a bunch of cats. So,
Meow.
Exactly. So I guess they had the roosters and the cats.
But
don't know if I could use some of those words on air, so we'll leave it alone. But yes, there was quite a few roosters and cats out there.
That's funny.
Well, now that I've actually made it across the pond to England and taken a very brief tour of New York, I might very well have to go take a tour of Hawaii, maybe for Christmas. Seems like that might be their cool season.
It's their less
If
busy
they have
season.
one. They're close enough to the equator. Do they actually have a cool season?
Yeah, it does get cool in the December time, but not snowing cool. So very tropical weathers. But I will tell you, some of the flowers that grow there are just incredible.
So I wouldn't have to worry about a hotel. I could just bring a couple of pillows and a sleeping bag and find a bush to sleep under.
Yeah. Or there's lots of rather cheap camping grounds that you can throw a tent up at that you're allowed, I think, a week at or so. And it's like...
Now, there's an idea.
Now it's like $10 or $15 a night. And then sometimes on the weekends they might charge you $20 or $30 for the night. But not a bad thing at all. I didn't do the camping run this round, but I think I might do that one of the next times. I always said I could probably live homeless on that island. You know, you could go eat the fruit and camp in the middle of nowhere.
Well, God knows people that does.
Well, I know. There's a lot of people out there that do. I was at one of the beaches, the many that are just randomly everywhere, but this one is more of a little public beach. And one of the locals there, I asked him which way the closest bathroom was, and he said it's over there by the Pavillionaires. And I said, the Pavillionaires? He goes, that's what we call them over there. And I was like, what do you mean the Pavillionaires? And he goes, you'll see. And so I walked by, and I got a little bit of a chuckle at it, but it's definitely all the old hippies that are retired, and they do nothing but sit and drink and smoke weed by the beach underneath this thing, and that's all they do. They're homeless, but instead of being calm homeless guys, they call them pavilionaires because all they do is hang out in the pavilion.
Underneath the pavilion.
Billionaires are homeless hippies that hang out and drink and smoke dope on the beach in Hawaii.
Yes.
All right. I got to become one of them.
Well, I don't know. They looked like they were having a good time.
Precisely.
No, I think a lot of them
I
are
could
getting
think of
some.
worse things.
There was a lot. Most of them, and I talked to a couple of them. I shouldn't say that. They're all nice guys. A lot of them are actually old ex-vets that ended up out there and needed some other help. But, you know, I talked to another guy last night about the VA, too. It's a joke. I wish him the best of luck over that.
Yeah.
So
The PTSD action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have another Andrew to talk to as well.
Oh, yes. I haven't talked to him yet either. I need to talk to him. There's an Andrew. Where's he at? Tennessee?
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening, Andrew, I will be calling you very soon. The other Andrew told
You're listening, Andrew. Our call-in number is
602-277-KFNX, or you can call toll-free at 1-866-536-1100.
And that's the way it is. So call in, Andrew, say hello. Anybody else can call in and say hello, and we'll address any lock or key related questions you might have.
And if
give you any advice.
Well, if you're being scammed, don't hesitate to call any legitimate locksmith. They're going to be more than willing to give you a second opinion about the job. Call, and they'll be able to tell you almost over the phone exactly what it's going to be if you can tell them what that other locksmith said. So.
And if you end up calling somebody and they want to have the technician tell you how much it is when they come out, and their very, very favorite words are, and up, that should be a red flag for y'all, and make sure that you consult with one or two other people before you permit the and up people to come out. And be aware that if you tell them where you are, sometimes they'll come out anyway, even if you haven't asked them to. And then they'll try to bully you into service calls and let them do the work and all that. We'll be back in just a minute. Back to the Locksmith Show, live from Mike's Market in Cookeville, Tennessee, where the new Charlie ride happens to be broken down, awaiting some fixing. With Andrew and Andrew, the Andrew twins in the studio.
No, I don't think we're twins.
I
think
well,
I'm
sorry.
5 years older than him. I should say 7.
Horribly
I'm
confused.
7 years older than him. I was in first grade before that guy was born.
That's that Alzheimer's slipping in again.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's half a country in 7 years separating us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, back onto the if you think you're ending up in a fraud situation or being scammed or whatever else may have go down, take all the red flags and try to go the opposite way and run as quick as you can. There is definitely nothing against it. Like we've said several times, the worst that happens, it ends up in a civil suit, and generally the consumer is going to win in these scenarios.
Most of the time.
And the other thing is, if you have somebody come out and they have led you to believe the price tag is going to be X, and then they come out and the price tag is 2 or 3 or 6 or 8 times X, you can either run them off or call the cops, or both, but you don't have to pay them to come out and lie to you or to come out to try to scam you.
Exactly.
You can just say, hey, you know what? You're in the middle of doing a crime here. You'd better run off while the running is good and let me get somebody legitimate here.
Exactly. But if for any case, if the consumer does find themselves being frauded out, or if you've realized that you have been frauded, you can contact the Arizona Attorney General Department. They have several different...
Consumer Protection Division of the Attorney General's office in Arizona or whatever other state you might happen to be in.
Yes,
Right.
Exactly. What's the Arizona number?
It's 602-542-5763. And
But
their
the best
website
thing
is
is
azag.gov.
Yeah, the best thing is put your complaint in writing, and I don't know if they have a web form to do that
They
on
do.
AZG or not, but they're not going to do anything probably from a phone call. But if you put your complaint in writing and get it to them either electronically or slap a stamp on it, then they have to at least look at it and review it, where phone calls are very easily ignored.
That is correct.
In fact, I had that happen just last night. 7:21 p.m., I called the reservations department for Motel 6, and I ordered 2 rooms. They happen to be sold out in Knoxville, but she says, if you go 27 miles past Knoxville, I can get you 2 rooms there. And she wanted my credit card. This is what I'm driving right now. She said, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm going to reserve them for you without a card. You just go ahead and go there. And I'm putting the address in my GPS from the phone call. So when I roll up at the place, I walk in the office, and she says, do you have a reservation? I'm like, yeah, I've got 2 rooms reserved. And she looks at me and says, I only have 1 reservation for 1 room, and it's not for you. And then, of course, when I called back, they had no recollection of the phone call, or no record of the phone call. So we had to scramble for another motel room at midnight because they couldn't be bothered to document a phone call.
Well, yeah, that happens quite a bit on traveling, especially, and it happened to me a few times. I had to keep going down and down and down. But yeah, if if they're asking for the credit card, I give it to them. I pull over and give it to them to make sure you're getting the rooms, especially if you're trying to do an emergency stop somewhere.
Well, it wasn't an emergency. It was going to be, we made it from Virginia all the way through Knoxville to that hotel with no difficulty. I do now know how to change the fuel filter on a 7.3 diesel.
Well, there you go.
Been there and done that. But that apparently was not
the full fix.
End all of my issue, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we hope you make it back safe, Charlie.
Oh, well, we will, obviously, someday.
Someday. I wish the plane would have got broke down when I was in Hawaii, when I couldn't have come back. But again, if you've never been to Hawaii, folks, you have to go sometime in your life. One of the most beautiful places on earth.
Now, did you happen to see McGarrett while you were out there?
No, I did not.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
Oh, well. And going back to the pricing of these scammers, let's get back to these guys real quick. Well, we got another 10 minutes or so. Well, 7 minutes, I think. The scammers will always have a too good to be true service call. You see the $15 service calls. You see the $9 service calls. You see the $19 service call. The average service call going across the United States, I think, is somewhere in between $55 and $75.
For your major cities, yeah.
For your major cities. And it could get a little cheaper in some of the smaller cities, or in some smaller cities where you got one locksmith handling a tri-city area, you might be even more than that because he has to drive farther. So in some of the smaller towns.
And in the metropolitan areas, it's not uncommon for a lockout to be 125, 150. In places like New York City, where it's just really outrageous, it's going to be a little bit more. But if you're in a quote-unquote normal environment, I know Metro usually charges like 95 for a lockout. So if you use those guys for a baseline, then anything really substantially above that I'd be wary of. I mean,
my prices throughout the day go from 65 up to 125, depending on the time of the day. So.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 2:00 in the morning and you're outside the strip club and locked your keys in the car, you should be expecting to pay a little bit more. Because if you've got money to give the strippers, you've got money to give to me.
Oh, do they? It might have been a Friday night and they ain't got no money now.
But they have ATM cards and stuff.
Or maybe the ladies got their ATM cards too. Some of those boys go to those clubs, come out broke.
Sounds like a very lucky lady to me, come up with their ATM cards.
Well, no, I'm just saying they already got the ATM card out of their pocket and paid the $26 to pull out money while they were at the ATM. So the ATM money made money as well.
Yeah,
I used to service some of the ATMs in town that were at a few of the strip clubs, and I thought it was ridiculous. They were like $20 charges to pull $20 out. I was like, wow, I'm in the wrong business. Start buying some ATMs up. $20 to get $20 out?
Yeah, I did security for an ATM, like the machine convention, basically. And the guys came out, and you heard some of the most interesting stories of where they put these things because, you know, they know where money gets taken out, basically.
Yep.
And they say that they can have it to where they project out, I'll have to have this machine refilled and maybe 3 or 4 times, you know, a week. And the next thing you know, they're having it refilled 3 or 4 times a day.
Yep. But
maybe we are in the wrong business. You know, I was going to buy a pile of payphones one time from a guy in Baton Rouge, and my job was going to be to just go out and collect all the money out of the payphones and then pay the phone bills. And I didn't have quite enough money to do this on my own. And the guy had been doing this for years and years and years, but he was going into the ATM business. And finally I asked the guy, I said, hey, are you getting rid of the payphone business because of the proliferation of cell phones rendering it unprofitable? And he didn't lie to me. He said, yeah. That's why he was getting rid of all the payphones.
I haven't seen a payphone in a very long time.
There was a payphone at the gas station when we did the Cutlass.
Yeah, there was. But if you looked, there was no receiver.
Oh, wasn't it?
Just like there was no receiver on the air.
So
yeah, back to that call. That guy had the flat tire, and then he pulled the spare out, and I pushed on the spare, and I said, "There's no air in the spare." And he's like, "It'll be all right." And I was like, "No, there's no air in it." And we go and put it on, and lo and behold, there's nothing. So
flat tire as well.
So then we go to fill it up over there, and Andrew went to grab the nozzle because we were close to the air pump at the gas station, and there's no nozzle for the air side of it. So we ended up trying to follow him down a mile on a flat tire, which I told him was a bad idea, but he insisted on it. So he drove his car on a flat tire down a mile to the next gas station and got some air in it. And he called me the next day and said he made it home. So I'm glad that he got home safe.
Yeah.
You know, not to try to provide a whole bunch of free advertising, but there is a Mexican 24-hour tire place. I believe it's 43rd Avenue, just south of Indian School. So there, and I think there might be one on Broadway or Main Street or something in Mesa.
It's on Tempe. It's on Apache.
Or Tempe. Yeah, okay. So there are some places where you can get tires in the middle of the night.
Exactly. Well, that's going to end this week's edition of the Locksmith Show. Again, we hope Charlie makes it back safe to the good old desert. Andrew and Charlie will be back here live next week with a new rendition and maybe some more interesting news about the YouTube videos.
Happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody.
Thanks to all of our service members.
Bye, kids.
If you like my YouTube channel, please subscribe below. It's over here. I don't know. It's somewhere, anywhere. It's wherever they like to put it. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. Share my videos. If you have any questions, email me, andrewslockandkeyaz@gmail.com, or don't hesitate to pick up the phone. I answer my phone all the time.
480-437-4022. Thank you, and have a great day.